Welcome to the Draw Club podcast by myself, Zane Scotland, where we're going to be talking all things golf. This is episode 1, the pilot episode. I've been on a few podcasts before. I've had a few appearances on the Sky Sports podcast. We had a podcast with Callaway for a while back. Had some really good guests on that one. But you know what? I just want to do my own podcast. Not overly scripted. Not taking down any random salesy kind of pitch. I just want this to be about the golf, and yeah, here it is. What's it going to be about? It's going to be about what's happening on tour, what actually helps you play better, whether it be the gear, the mindset, and maybe some stuff you don't hear in your regular golf lessons. We will have the odd guest on. That's something I'm going to endeavour to do. Hopefully call in some good golfers and contacts that I know at some point and get them on. It'd be really good to hear some of their insights. And just in general, it's going to be a place, if you love the game like I do, then hopefully you'll get something out of this. And if you don't, there's loads of other good podcasts out there you can go and check out. But anyway, let's get into it. So let me get a few notes here that I've made. So, I'll tell you what, as it's the first one, let's get straight into this week's story. Obviously, Pebble Beach is going on, that's all great. DP Tour are having a week off. But what I watched today was absolutely fantastic. Sunday morning, got up, look at the phone, a few messages come through. Are you watching this? Anthony Kim is doing the business. Had like 3 people message me. Boom, right, how do I find it? Right, Live Golf, I know he's on Live Golf. So I go to the YouTube, look on the YouTube, can't find it. Then I'm thinking, what TV channel is it on? I think it's now on TNT. I don't know if I've got TNT. Message my pals. Anyway, so one of them writes back, you can watch it on the website. Boom. Get the laptop up, watch it on the website. Perfect. Actually a pretty good app, to be fair. And I caught them in the last few holes on 16 maybe. And just... it all went on. Anthony Kim on the 16th, David Fairty saying he just looks like he's not wobbling here. Has like a 20-foot putt, leaves it like 4 or 5 feet short. John Rahm steps up, boom, birdie. He was 3 ahead going onto that hole. John Rahm makes birdie, so now he's only 2 ahead. Now he's got a slippery 5-footer. But anybody who's been watching Anthony Kim's Instagram, social media knows he grinds on his putting, and he is just there with his drills going boom, 6-footers, 8-footers, 10-footers, and all that work paid off. He rolls it straight in the middle, goes up 17. John Rahm sends it miles down there with 3-wood, big nice fade up round the corner, nice lemonade. Anthony Kim goes for the old school stinger off the tee, hits iron off the tee, stinger. It's playing quite firm. Filthy little ball tracer down there. Knocks it on the green. So let's say 15 feet. John Rahm hits it 16, 17 feet. John misses it. Anthony Kim just rolls it in. Goes straight to the 18th tee. Nice chat between him and his caddy. A bit of strategy. Gets the iron out again. Another stinger down there. Straight down the middle. Boom. Hits his lob wedge onto the green. Probably quite a comfortable par 4 to finish. You know, if you're leading by 3, knowing it's a little bit out of reach. Bryson DeChambeau, who is also in their group, stands up, rips driver, like nails it, just short of the front edge. So that means John Rahm, Anthony Kim definitely can't reach it. John Rahm hits it way left, but first of all, rewinding, Anthony Kim steps up, pings his 2 iron, his 3 irons straight down the middle. Lovely move, gripping down it like he always used to. John Rahm hits it way left, but that's not an issue. Hits a nice shot onto the green. So it's kind of done now. Anthony Kim knocks it on the green to about 25 feet. Happy days. The crowd are going mad. You know, he's waving to the crowd, kind of patting his chest. Obviously, the old heart's going at this point. Wanders up there, and, you know, the crowds are huge in Adelaide. 2 putts for the win. Massive celebration. You know, wasn't crying, but you could see it just meant so much to him. First person on the green to congratulate him was his young daughter, which is absolute magic. Wife runs onto the green. And what a moment that must be for him, having gone through all the struggles that he's gone through. I mean, he was really doing bits when I played on the tour back in the day in 2007, 2008. He came over to Korea to play a couple of tournaments, and he was the man. I'm pretty sure he won 6 PGA Tour events, and it's taken him in a very short PGA Tour career by the age of 24. Got injured, and now I'm pretty sure over 5,700 days later, he's got his next win. And what a comeback that's been from him, to be down and out. He's obviously had his issues, had his problems, and I'm sure those stories will come out over the next few weeks. But, right now, just seeing him play that way, seeing the work that he's put in, we'd have had a lot of doubters after getting relegated last year, putting it out there, going to the qualifying, finished third in the qualifying, coming out and winning. Just fair play against a good field as well, a really good field. Just fair play to the lads. And you know what? Hopefully we see him getting a few majors. He would have got plenty of world ranking points today. I believe he may actually get up around 300 in the world ranking. So if he can kick on from here, wouldn't it be awesome to see Anthony Kim back in the majors again and just doing what he does? He's on that 4 aces team. Dustin Johnson losing Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed's been buzzing recently. Second win since he's gone back to the DP World Tour. That's on another subject. But he's replaced him with Anthony Kim, and what a good signing that has been. So, yeah, well done, Anthony Kim. Great to have him back. A real character. Everyone was pulling for him. And, you can have all the... not people don't always all like live golf and have their thoughts on it, but putting that aside, this is what sport's about, and those stories and that comeback story and hard work and determination is kind of why we love the game. So, yeah, well done, Anthony Kim. Next, Patrick Reed. Second win. I'm going to gloss over that, but that's been brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing the last round of Pebble Beach tonight, so we will report on that next week. I'm keeping this as short as I can, being the pilot episode, and I'm going to endeavour to get some guests on as we do go forward. But yeah, what else can we talk about? I want to talk about a little bit about what I've been working on. So if anyone's interested, go to my Instagram. And this week, I've been working a little bit on early extension. I had a chat online with Todd Clements. So Todd Clements, I used to coach when he was an amateur into being a professional. A fantastic player, DP World Tour winner. Loves the game, loves all the golf swing parts. I'm a good pal still. And we were just texting. I was posting some videos of my swing, and he said, looks good. I told him what I've been working on. And we got a little bit deep into the woods. And he sent me a couple of videos of Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, and he was saying how, on the backswing, how the left hip doesn't come forward. And I thought, that's interesting, because I've always struggled with early extension. And I find it really hard trying to drop my right hip back. I feel like I'm trying to get my right hip back and trying to keep it back on the downswing, and it just doesn't work. I lose my strike. But how about, as I turn back, the left hip doesn't go toward the ball? So I thought, that's interesting. So I've given that a bit of a try. And you know what? It's been a bit of a life changer, if I'm honest with you. It feels like, now, the left hip will go a little bit toward the ball just because of the shape of the pelvis and how you move. But trying to minimise that, try not let the left hip go forward while I turn. Then on the downswing, I just feel like I get the left hip out the way, which clears my left side, stops my hands from tracking out to the right and rolling the wrists. And you know what? It's something I haven't really seen in my game. And another big win for it has been, I've been hitting balls doing it, and it's been a lot easier on my back. I do have a bad back, which is kind of why I retired in 2017. So I don't realize I retired, because I still play golf and still love it the way I do. But I stopped competing on tour as such from about that point because it was just too much on my back. So, yeah, I'm excited by that. And it just goes to show that you're always learning new stuff. And you know what? Actually, my drill for it is, what I do is I set up to the ball, and I remember there was a film where there were like a SWAT team, and they're trying to go through. It might have been, what was it? Like Resident Evil or something like that. And there's a laser, and so I feel like there's a light from down the line, as if you're filming yourself down the line. There's a laser coming out the camera, and it goes right across the front of my hips, and it's burning like fire. And as I turn back, if my left hip comes forward, it touches it and it burns me. So I try and keep that back as I go back. And on the way down, I'm trying to keep both hips back, not going into the laser and rotating around. So I'm linking it to a bit of pain. But yeah, that's my drill for it. That's my thought on my drill. And so far, so good. Hitting some nice lemonades doing that. If you are an early extender, give that a go. Early extension is a tough one to fix, but the better you understand it, the more chance you've got of fixing that. So that's one of those parts. Another part is I put a 7-wood in the bag. There was a day when everyone had to conform, and you had to have a 2-iron in the bag. You actually had a 1-iron, and there was a day when I had a 1-iron and I retired that, and then I had a 2-iron and retired that, and then I had a 3-iron and retired that, and now I'm almost at 4-iron. To be honest with you, the 7-wood is such a magic little club. Gets the launch straight away. You can cut it up. I hit it about 225, 230 through the air if I rip it. But if I've got like 205, 210, you can just grip down, cut one up, gets out of all sorts of lies and lands on the green and stops. So like long par 3, get a great driveway in the par 5, in a bad lie in the rough. It's a great little club. And I think it's been a real turn, isn't there, in what is cool to use in golf. So it's almost a bit vibey to get a club which is kind of a little bit homemade, whether it be, like a 5-wood but with a 7-wood shaft, or a 6-wood with a 7-wood shaft. Something that goes off like a little bit of a rocket but has a bit of feel in it and it's a bit easy to use. Or a wedge that you've ground down. Like at the moment, I actually really like my clubs at the moment. I've got 2 drivers that I kind of flip between. So Callaway Elite Triple Diamond with a black Ventus 6X shaft. That is a really good drive. It's fast. It goes, but it's quite hard to hit. It's a bit like a blade. And then I've just got a ping. I tried the 440. I've actually got the 430 in the bag at the moment with a Ventus Blue, which just feels like super easy to hit. So that's one that I'll probably gravitate towards. When my ego likes it, I'll go back to the Callaway. And then I've got Mini Driver, which is a real throwback to when I started playing golf, because you had a 1-wood, 2-wood, 4-wood. So I've got a driver, Mini Driver, which I play at about 11.5 or 12 degrees, Ventus black shaft. And then forward, so I've got a Callaway Elite forward with Ventus Blue 7X. Then it's got this 7-wood, which is an Callaway Elite 7-wood with a slightly shorter shaft and in a Ventus red, just to get the thing to pop up way in the air. So, yeah, that's a money club, that. And then at the moment, I predominantly use Callaway irons. So I've got two sets of Callaway irons that I use a lot. So I've got a set of MB Raws, and I've got some Callaway Legacy Blacks, which are from 2013. But recently, a client of mine changed clubs, Michael, and his character, he loves his golf as well, and he gave me his Muras. So I got them reshafted. I've had some Acra 115 graphite shafts put in them, and then added lead tape to the heads to get the weight up. And they are just mint. They're the 502, so they're quite big. They've got a nice bit of cavity, but because they're forged, they just feel amazing. So really enjoying those. And I'm really happy with my setup at the moment. I feel like it's pretty vibey. And I've just gone back to the Newport style Toulon. So it's Toulon, I don't know what it's called. It's called a Vegas or something. But anyway, it's like a Newport Ansa style putter, blade putter, with a Stroke Lab shaft in it. And in the summer, I was playing indoors and I was getting a bit bored. I had a lab putter for a while. I was getting a bit bored and my back was playing up. So I actually got a broom handle putter just to mess around with, really, and which was nice, which was fun. But I've gone back to the blade, and there was just something about a blade putter. I mean, there is all this, again, on my socials, there's a big chat about mallet putters. But I feel like it's a fashion thing at the moment. You know, that it's kind of the in thing to be doing. But if you're a good putter, I don't think you require that. I mean, the best putter, in my opinion, for a number of reasons, was Tiger Woods. Had a very brief session or time with a mallet putter, sacked it back to the blade putter. Putting's probably always been the better part of my game, and I've always putted my best with a blade putter. I think there's a bit more touch. There's a bit more touch, and if you can control the face angle is definitely the top of the tree when it comes to putting, then the touch, or they kind of go hand in hand. Strike location is not as big a deal as many people believe. If you stroke it perfectly, also not as big a deal as some people have you believe. It's more about if you can deliver the face squarely to where you want the ball to start. So, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to double down now and just go on the blade putter hype. I've used mallets in the past, but it just doesn't feel like I'm really, I don't know. It's not even a performance thing. It's just a bit more of a flex, isn't it, to use a blade putter? That's just what it comes down to. But I'm going blade at the moment. I know that'll kick up a bit of debate because people do love the mallets, and you know, that's each to their own. I'm not saying I am saying blades are better, but each to their own. Each to their own. What else are we chatting about? Oh, I tell you what. Indoor short game improvement. Now, not even just indoor. Let's just talk about short game. Didn't really want to give this any energy, but it is a thing at the moment. There's a big row. I say a big row. I mean, the things going on in the world to say that this is a thing about how to play short game and what is it shallow or steep or low and spinny, high VSP, lower VSP, all these things. And it's, for some reason, weird enough, it's kicked off about short game this week. And you know what? Like, quite a few people messaged me asking me about, what do you think about this? What's your opinion on it? I'm going to say two things here. One, somebody I really respect with short game is Brett Rumford. And Brett Rumford can pretty much play every single shot and is the best short game player by some margin that I've ever seen. I've chipped next to Seve. Obviously, Seve did it in massive moments. He could do it, but he couldn't tell you how he did it. But he was an absolute genius. Brett Rumford can do it, and he can tell you exactly how to do it, and he can coach it, which I think is really impressive. And he said, the thing with short game is, it's a toolbox. So what you do is, depending on what tool you need, you reach in and pull it out. So whatever shot you require at the time in that situation, lie, environment, so forth, you reach in and you play that shot that's required. So I don't think there's one way to play it. I like my baseline chip would be to get a little bit down it, a little bit lower and spinny, just because playing on a lot of Bermuda grass, that's a bit easier. But I'll definitely mix it up, go and play on rye and meadow grass. And secondly, there were threats and so forth going on. You know what? Why is everyone getting so upset? It's only chipping. Bloody hell. I mean, let's move on, guys. Anyway, when I did say I was going to start a podcast, thank you so much to the people that have said they're looking forward to listening to it. And also thank you so much to the people who sent some questions and topics for me to discuss when I request it on my social media. And that is going to be a theme of the podcast, which is going to be, I'm going to ask on my social media what you would like to hear about and come up with some of your points and so forth, so that I've got some good content to give to you guys, answer your questions. And I really want this to be like a really good community of golf lovers where we can it's just something to just, chew the fat, go on about what's going on in the golf right now, and maybe answer some questions. So I'm just going to scroll through here to some of those questions, if I can find them. Go back. No, further forward than that. Had some good ones in here. I actually had so many questions, I could probably do about a year's worth of podcasts just on the questions. So thank you so much to everybody. But I'm just going to cover 3 today. We'll see how long they are. So here we go. Here's the first ones. Okay, first one. This is from Paul Howler. When will they change the divot rule? Explanation mark. Most unfair rule in golf. Now, you know what? This is a tough one because I actually disagree with that. Sorry, Howler. If you hit it way in the trees and you wander in there and you've got a nice perfect lie and you've got a nice gap to hit through, you're not going, oh, that's a bit unfair, I better put it back in the shit. You play it and make it. I get it. If you ripped it down the middle, you get in a divot and you feel pretty aggrieved. But that's golf. Golf is literally just the most aggrieving sport. And part of golf is where we can play it down and find a way. So, sorry, Howler. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. See you this week. We'll get a little bit of work on that short game. Some of those spinners. Then, what's the next one? Okay. David Zabinski. Never played before. So just for transparency here, David Zabinski is the founder franchisee, along with Matt Chilag, at 5 Iron Golf UAE, which is where I'm director of golf. But I think this is an interesting question. Never played golf before, so he owns a golf business, is not a golfer. Do you suggest learning on a TrackMan sim or a traditional range? So, yes. Is there going to be any bias here? Possibly, but I have an academy, which is an outdoor academy in London, Leatherhead Golf Club. Check it out. And I also coach here and have a team of coaches at 5 Iron Golf. Our team is the 5 Iron Performance team. So I've now coached pretty extensively in both environments. If you're learning the game on a sim, I believe fast tracks that learning experience, because first of all, it's a comfortable environment. Second of all, you've got you've got the data, but you've got the cameras there for the playback. And so when you demonstrate and you show someone how to strike the ball, make ball turf contact, and then you give them the move to do it, you can very quickly get to show them what moves they're making or what moves they should be making. And then the last piece is you can see progress in the numbers. So that's quite inspiring. So you can say to somebody, look, when you started off, you were only hitting it 70 yards. Now, if you do this and this, as you can see by the numbers, it's going 110 yards and so forth and so forth. So I think if you're learning the game with no bias, on a TrackMan sim is a really, really good way to get into the game. Not intimidating, lots of feedback, and you can see your numbers and you can see how far or how much your improvement is. Obviously, after that, you want to be outdoors, learning the lies, the etiquette of the game, enjoying the social side of it. There's so many other elements, but just learning the game, I'm going to go with TrackMan sim there. Then, okay, one more. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Jamie McConnell, experience as a player. You must have a few stories in that department. I do. We've not got time today, but I will get to them for sure. Okay, scrolling on. Training aids. What training aids do you use in lessons and what issues do they fix? So I'm a big user of sticks. So I put sticks on the ground to map where the swing should go, what the baseline swing is. And then, depending on the player's tendencies, we would adjust accordingly. Also, controlling ball flight. So you can do a technical lesson with it's called the grid, which I got from, the first time I saw the grid was with Mac O'Grady, and that is something, the golf schools I went on with him, I would love to share with you, because there's some great stories from those. If anyone's interested, maybe I should ask that on the socials this week. And then Andy Plummer from Stack and Till, he was the person who made it a lot clearer. And the good thing about putting the sticks down and designing the grid is it looks quite confusing at the start, but once you understand it, it simplifies the golf swing. In it gives you a map on the ground of where should I swing, or what is a baseline swing. So what pieces am I changing? So you haven't got to be perfect, but you can say, okay, if I'm going a little bit too much on the outside on the way through, what am I doing on the way back to negate that? And then the other part is you can do a complete ball flight session off of it. So you can adjust your address position to hit a different ball flight, rather than trying to change your swing on every shot to hit different curvature, power, etc. So that is something I should do a post on that, because it is really, really insightful, and it's been a huge help to my game personally, and many players I've helped. That would be one of the first things that I would, if I had a new player come in, helping them understand the grid is really key, especially for a really good player, for a beginner as well, but for a really good player to understand how to change their ball flight without feeling like they've got to change their golf swing. So that is one part. So, and then other training aids, the TRS slider has been really good. I'm sure everyone's seen that. Liam Bond, pal of mine, ex-player, teamed up. He has TRS and he teamed up with Robert Rock, and they designed a slider, which is another actually drill that I got from Mac O'Grady. So Mac O'Grady had me put a belt around my rib cage and around my right arm. But this slider does similar, but the clasp in your right arm allows the right arm to orbit the rib cage and not lift up, so it feels a bit less constricted than putting a towel under your arm, something like that. So that's one. This one here, I will need to do. This is called the Impact Snap by a guy called Kelvin Miyahura. I think that's how you spell it. So a coach from Hawaii, a bit of a cult coach actually, and he's got a few short YouTube videos which are really, really good actually, that he does with Denny Lucas. Worth a little look up on YouTube, that is. And this training aid helps numerous things. Setting the club, when to impact, and this little ball helps you square it on the wrist. I'll have to do a video on this. But yeah, that is a pretty cool little training aid that I need to share with you more. And then what else? A swing guide. The wrist setter thing, which like the little yellow hook that you put on the shaft and it comes out. So when you go back, you set it and it kind of cups your wrist. That's another good one. I try not to use training aids too much. Actually, last one. The strike wedge, an orange box, and I use that one for chipping. That's on my Instagram as well. And again, I'm going to say it again, more videos to come on that. But that's really good for chipping, for low point, for understanding swing path and so forth. There's loads of good things you can do with that. So a few little tools there. I'll post it. So what else? What's the highest pressure moment you've experienced in golf? My highest pressure moment has got to be playing the Open Championship. I played 2 Open Championships. One at Carnoustie when I was 16 years old, and I played another one in 2010 at St Andrews. And both times, that first tee has been a very similar experience, and there's nothing that's quite rivaled that. So if I can just explain it to you real quick. So I'm a good golfer, and I know how to prepare for my round and warm up and everything. So you do all that part. You get to the first tee. The one in 2010, my dad was on the bag for me, which was fantastic. And you get to the first tee, and you get your pin sheet, and you're checking your book, and you get the card, meet your playing partners, all fine. Do this every week. Playing partners tee off. Then Ivor Robson, the late Ivor Robson, calls your name. So I won't do the accent, but on the tee from England, Zane Scotland. And there is just a moment where it just goes from head to toe, it just goes like vroom, and you cannot feel your body. And you're like, right. So you walk out to the tee box, feels like a very lonely place all of a sudden. And where you just pushing the ball into the ground, pushing the tee into the ground, you can't feel it. And you're like, right, okay. Then you stand up, do your practice swings, get over the ball, and you're looking down at the ball and you're doing your waggling and the club head is moving side to side and you can't feel it. And you're looking down, you're thinking, I can't feel my body, I can't feel my legs, I can't feel my arms. Who's moving that club? Oh my God. But at some point, you just got to pull the trigger. So you're looking down the fairway, looking back, can't feel the arms, and then you go, you know what, I've just got to go here. And both times, for some peculiar reason, my mind just went back to picturing the driving range, which is the blue Open Championship boards out there on the driving range, and I said to myself, right, just pretend you're on the driving range. Start the swing, both times, ball, bosh, down the middle. And that sight, you can't feel the strike because you're just pumping with adrenaline, but just seeing the ball fly off and it not going towards the crap and going down the short stuff is like the best sight. So I've had a few more, but that's probably tops it, I would say. Thank you very much for listening. Please like, subscribe in all the current areas. We're going to be setting up a YouTube. It'll be on Spotify, Apple, all those places. And yeah, until next time.